All right, we've got green box. We've got green box. I got the notification about YouTube, so I think we're good. Restream says we're good.
It
Let's
says
do.
loot crates in the title.
Yeah, Battlefront 2 loot crates.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Good.
yeah. All right, welcome everyone to 4GwQPodcast podcast. This is episode number 154. I know last week clowns lost track of what episode number it was. That was 153. This is 154 for November 2nd, 2017. We're recording this and broadcasting live to YouTube and Mixer on Thursday the 2nd. So if you're watching this later, hopefully everything's still relevant, of course. I'm Inferno 2 and 7. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, clowns. What were you going to say?
And I know people hate this, but it says we're not live on Mixer.
How, dude?
It's probably the streaming service, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Mixer's shut.
Man.
Wait,
Well-
we just went live on Mixer.
Okay, good.
That was a delay, huh?
Yeah, really delayed. No kidding. Well, anyway, I'm Inferno 217. Some people know me as Fernie217 if you play on PlayStation, or 0184 space 025. No, I'm kidding. I don't know my friend code. I'm not even gonna pretend I do. We've got the rest of our panel tonight. The usual suspects. Taylor will be arriving later, but we've got making his 154th straight appearance in this show. The Iron Man himself. ZPCI Assassin, what's going on, bud?
Hi.
And we've got, of course, Italian Clowns. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on? Glad to be on episode 154. And by the way, last week was 153.
Good. We'll give you a pass on that because we are getting in the high numbers now, so it is hard to keep track. Honestly, I would probably lose track if I didn't have folders with the names on my computer. Like sometimes I do have to go on YouTube and be like, "Am I sure that this is the right episode number?" But anyway, yeah, I got a lot of topics tonight, so we're gonna move kind of quicker than maybe we could on this thing, so we don't talk for like 3 hours. We're gonna talk about Battlefront 2 loot crates being changed. The leveling dynamic has changed due to the outcry of a lot of people on Twitter and a lot of people on Dice forums and whatnot. So we're gonna get into that. We're gonna talk about, of course, the PlayStation keynote from Paris Games Week 2017, which is now officially underway. There's some controversial trailers that were shown there during the show, during the keynote that PlayStation had, Sony had, and there are also a few games that looked quite interesting, so we'll get into those. Of course, PUBG coming on Xbox on December 12th. We'll talk about if that's a big deal, good date, bad date, all that kind of thing. Of course, we'll talk about GameStop's new Power Pass, which is what we talked about in the show a couple months ago. It had been rumored through a little bit of a survey that GameStop was doing, the used game rental service. So we'll give the details of that, talk about if it's a good deal, bad deal, if we're going to do it or not. And, of course, we can't leave out October 27th, probably one of the best release dates for video games ever. 3 awesome games came out that day, so we'll talk about those. And what else we got? Halo 5 getting Xbox One X patch, albeit a little later today than they expected. But, yeah, a bunch of topics. We'll get into them right away. We'll waste no time. Really quick, check out our affiliate links down below. Shop through those. I know it is holiday shopping season. So if you're doing any shopping, Best Buy, GameStop, Microsoft Store, Amazon, places like that, go click on our links and then do your regular shopping there. You'll pay no extra money, but we will get a little bit of referral bonus. So we appreciate that if you do that. Also, there is a donate link if you feel so inclined. If you don't, then of course don't. But there's a donate link we have now below, and we thank you for any contributions. All right, Assassin, I know you've been salivating to discuss this because I know we talked about in the show how this wasn't really as bad as it had seemed, and people weren't really reading into it enough. And it looks like DICE and EA don't care whether or not it was as bad as it seemed. They are listening to the people on Twitter, the keyboard warriors, the people that are outraged, the fact that you could have some sort of progression, albeit not very powerful progression, via loot crates, and now it has been completely reworked. So Assassin, why don't you tell us what's going on here, since this is your baby, and yeah, give us your opinion on it.
Now you're gonna give me some hate because I totally forgot what they added or changed, except one thing. Now the epic versions, which is the last version, the highest tier, the OP version, I guess you want to say, is all based on your level and crafting points. You can earn them through money for supply drops, in general, just supply drops. You can't, pay your way forward, except after thinking about this, it's kind of not more pay to win, but it's still kind of pay to win if people are complaining about it, because you have to buy crates or open crates to get crafting parts to craft these things. So, I mean, nothing really changed.
No, you also, sorry to interrupt, but let me just clarify. You do have to now reach a certain rank via like gameplay to craft certain things. Like you can't just like.
Well, yeah, that was when they first sent out that article. That was in there, but that you had to be a certain rank to get, a certain level gear.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why, some people are, saying, oh my god, this is new, which they didn't read the first stuff, which brings me to the point where fucking read words, please.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, it really sucks to bury a game that's as good as this, because I think Battlefront 2 is great. Like, I can't say more good things about it, to be honest. And I had a really good time with the beta, but like, people really buried this thing to the point where they had to change the whole progression system. And I understand, obviously, the weapons and the epic star cards are the big deal here. Those things aren't necessarily unlocked specifically just through crates. Even the weapons, like they're gonna be still a few found in crates. So, there's gonna be a lot now that you can only attain through gameplay, and that's fine. Like, I think the worst part of it was the fact that you unlocked stuff for characters that you can play as. That was kind of a bad thing. But in no way do I think that it was necessarily like a pay-to-win scheme that people were going to absolutely take advantage of, because it's so random that people would be spending ridiculous amounts of money for this pay-to-win scheme. Like somebody could pay, like $30, $40, $50 on these loot crates and unlock things before this update. They would be able to unlock items for classes that they're not, Yeah,
but I mean, there could have been more crates. I know it was just the beta we got a taste, but there could have been crates for just assaults, or specialist, or just heroes. Guaranteed like one assault class item. Guaranteed one hero item.
Yeah,
etc. etc.
I know Assassin's disappointed for me because I was really looking forward to loot crates, and I wanted to save up like 100 or something to drop on loot crates and progress faster than him in level. So I'm sure he feels my pain. Now I might not even have to play this game. I feel so disappointed.
Oh my god!
I mean, they just broke my heart. Taking away one of my most favorite things about this game was the loot crates.
You can still pay to get stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not
going to have to play
the star cards, level up faster. That's all gone. The 2 seconds extra as Boba Fett flying in the air with more jet fuel, that's probably gone for the pay to people.
Well, I mean, those 2 seconds could just ruin the whole game. I mean, pay to win here.
I was hoping to stack them, like, get a couple of those and just run them back to back.
Nice. Can you imagine, like, you pay ridiculous money for these loot crates and you get, like, a couple 2-second boosts or whatever?
And people are going to bitch and complain about that because they didn't look at the star cards to begin with.
Jesus. 2 seconds is longer than you think, but it's not a substantially long time that you have to, worry too much about it.
Well, and then you land on the, like, for instance, talking about Boba Fett, you land on the ground, your jetpack refills pretty quickly as it is. Like,
right. So. And so, other things that they say, there's EA.com. They have, if you navigate through the Battlefront game to their website. There is an article that's called "How We've Updated Crates and Progression," and it talks about in the article, like it bullet point stuff that they did, and they fixed. I think they fixed the biggest problem, which was, unlocking things specifically for your class as you play the class. Because I'm playing a lot of heavy in the beta, and I'm unlocking things for the officer or whatever, and I don't want to unlock things for that. Like, at least playing the game with a certain class now feels rewarding, like it should. So, I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people are still going to be running heavy if it's not balanced. But I think, at least it'll put you on a level playing field if you're playing heavy. Like, say you're playing heavy for 10 hours and somebody else is playing heavy for 10 hours. Before it was completely kind of random, who got the better cards. You know what I mean? Who got the better stuff, because, those loot boxes that RNG can go anyway. But now, like, you reach progression milestones, you're probably going to be on the same level, based on, playtime. So that's good. Yeah, what else? Class-specific gear and items can be unlocked by playing as them, of course. I mean, that's essentially it. I mean, it's not changed as drastically as people would probably make it seem on the net, but like it did address the biggest problem. So,
Yeah.
I think it's a big deal. You think it's a big deal, Assassin?
Oh, I think it's just more a big deal that they're coming out and saying that they're changing it, because people are thinking it's pay to win, which it's not. And they're, coming out and saying like, hey, we did this. Looks more positive in their eyes, and then people will buy it, and the game won't just be dead.
Right. And then people were clamoring for an awesome single player experience in Battlefront. Like, people wanted that single player experience in the Star Wars universe, along with the multiplayer, of course. And now this game has it, and people were ready to write it off because they thought it was pay to win. And they weren't going to experience all the work that they put in to make a really good single player experience. So, and now they need to kind of like, they needed to put out this article. I think it was the smart move. Like you said, Assassin, definitely a good way for them to get on people's good graces and say that they're listening to feedback and they're changing things, even though they might not have needed to. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. They say in the article, the magic is in the balance. We know the magic is in the balance, and we're going to make sure that we continue to make a game that is fun for everyone. Let's see if the heavy class and the officer and stuff, let's see if those classes are balanced at all. Let's see if that made its way into how strong certain characters are or anything.
Yeah.
Clowns, any last words on this?
I mean, rest in peace, pay to win. That's all I was going to use you for anyway.
It wasn't pay to win in the first place, but feel free to live your pay to win fantasies.
Rest in peace, pay to win. R.I.P.
So that's the situation with Battlefront 2. I put no longer as pay to win-ish here on the slide, but it really isn't as pay to win-ish. And now if people are still thinking it's pay to win, like you probably have to, sit down and consider what you think pay to win is.
What we need to do is get a petition started to put characters behind paid loot crates.
Oh, dude.
Or you could just go away and then
hold on.
We won't
All right.
have to do that.
While we go on to the next topic, I'm going to petition.org. I'm going to see if I can start a petition.
Make sure to downvote that and block it and report it and yeah.
Nice. Well, that's the situation with Battlefront. Check it out because the game's awesome. Comes out, a couple weeks?
12 days for deluxe and
yeah.
17th for normal people. And what is it? It's 5 days. It's next week, I think, for
next week
EA
for,
Access.
EA Access, yep, absolutely. So check that shizzle out. All right, next topic. Since Taylor isn't here and she pretty much has no interest in this, we'll get to this before she pops in. So, real quick, Halo 5 got its Xbox One X update today. Obviously, the X isn't out for everyone until the 7th, but they did release it today. I know some people are still wrapping up their reviews of the X. Some outlets are wrapping up their reviews, and hopefully, they take this into consideration. They haven't finished it completely, and they're, they include these upgrades because, for all intents and purposes, from what I've seen on Reset Era and what I've seen on Twitter and stuff, I've been looking around and the images are unreal. Like, I don't know if you guys have looked at any images from the update, but like even the super sample ones look incredible.
Wow.
Yeah, even
can't wait to start it.
Dude, if there was somebody on Twitter posted a thread, and if I can, maybe I'll show you after the show if I can find it. I think I saw it on my phone, but on the new NeoGAF Reset Era, if everyone's familiar with that, they had a thread that had guys. There was this guy posting like pictures of the super sampled version and pictures of the 4K version, and it was just unbelievable. It just looked so good. The super sampled version looked so good. Oh, Taylor is in the chat, it looks like. So yeah, what do you guys think about this? I mean, this patch is like massive, obviously. All the X patches have been massive so far. This isn't the only game to get an update, but
as Microsoft said, like 4K patches could be like double the size of the game or whatever. Like these patches that they've been putting out for years in Halo have been small than what they've been telling us. Except Quantum Break, holy shit.
Yeah. No, I mean, the first party ones have been kind of small. Like Quantum Break, what was that, like a 75 gigabyte patch on top of the game install? It brought it to like 102 or something like that gigabytes.
Yeah. If you have the episode patch, it's almost 200 gigs.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. So I feel like the third party patches have been a little bit bigger than the first party patches. I don't know. Do you know how big the Gears one was?
I believe it was like around the 24 mark.
Mm-hmm.
Halo, I think with the patch that came out today, was 27.
Yeah, because wasn't Xbox was kind of like big on that, oh, we're just going to upgrade what you need kind of deal, remember, to reduce file sizes. And I think like they're doing that with their own first party titles, but the third party ones, well, I know, Quantum Break is, pseudo first party, if you will, but almost like second party, but like I feel like the third party patch is going to be pretty big. I don't know how big the Assassin's Creed one is. Do you know that?
It comes out Tuesday.
Oh, it's not out yet. Okay, but I'm expecting that one to be sizable as well.
Yeah. I know. I think it was Call of Duty on the Pro is somewhere up to 80 gigs.
Right.
So I mean that's not that bad. I mean the Pro is a weaker console towards the X, so it'll probably be a little bit higher. But
right. Yeah, and it also comes as part of a bigger patch. Like it's not just 4K UHD support. They're doing like peer-to-peer servers. If you want to host your own multiplayer matches, you can host them on peer-to-peer servers, which is kind of cool. They have a bunch of new items, new commendations, some new weapons variants. There's a bunch of stuff in this update, but of course, everyone's gonna be concerned about the 4K, of course.
Well, and didn't they add HDR? I believe they did, but it wasn't going to be like HDR that we're used to because the game wasn't built for it.
Right. See, I'm looking in the patch notes and I don't see HDR, but I remember them saying that, but it's just not it's not in the patch notes. So.
Oh, hey, we got a message in Mixer. Psychotron says hello, guys.
Psychotron, what's going on, bud? Why? I had Mixer up, but then it closed. Now I have it up. Okay, good. Oh yeah, Psychotron, what's going on, bud? Clowns, you got any final thoughts on this?
On the Halo enhancements?
Yeah.
This game was great for its time. I thought it was better than some of the previous Halos, but I'm just going to say this. I think going back to constantly enhance every single first-party IP in the last 10 years is a little ridiculous.
I think it's a little ridiculous enhancing like original Xbox games. Like, I think I saw somebody post on Twitter that like Oblivion was Xbox enhanced or some shit like that, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what? What?
Yeah, because even with the enhancements, it's still not going to compare to games today.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. And I hope people aren't expecting that. Like, I really do. I know, man, I don't know if it's Digital Foundry, but somebody did a video comparison. You can look it up on YouTube. They did, like, Halo 3 backwards compatible version with the Xbox One X update versus Halo 3 in the Master Chief Edition, and the Xbox One X update, like, blows it away visually. Looks way better. So, which I thought was pretty interesting. But yeah, all right. Let me try to get Taylor in here right now. So it doesn't say she's on the line. Oh yeah, no, it does. It says she's away. All right. Pardon the visual issues while we get Taylor in here. All right. So other than that, the Halo 5 X patch, that thing's over. But yeah, I mean, these patches are rolling in like gradually. You know, it's not like these are all out right now. So any kind of patch that comes out is a big deal. I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, why did you even like mention this in the podcast?" It's not a big deal. It is a big deal. Like, these things are all rolling out, and even though, like, Clown has a point, like, you're gonna remaster all your previous titles, that's kind of lame. But like, at the same time, like, people still play Halo 5. Multiplayer on Halo 5 is still, like, extremely active. So, all right, we have Taylor in. Hi, Taylor.
Hello.
I think. How did your dentist appointment go?
It was fine. Apparently, it's not a bone shard. The tissue is just healing weird.
Oh,
So,
oh, that's always good.
yeah. So they don't need to cut in my gum, so I'm fine with that.
Nice. Oh, I screwed up Assassin's thing. This is live television, ladies and gentlemen. All right, while I'm doing this, let me go to the next topic so that we're not just like screwing around here. GameStop Power Pass. Did you guys see this thing? 6 months, $60, and then after that, it's gonna be $10 a month. It starts this month, actually. I think it's like the middle of November, like the 19th or the 16th or something like that. You can get in this thing. It's like, you know, a rental service. You can just go back to your local GameStop. You can swap your game out, take out any used game on the shelf, which is, you know, tons and tons of games. So they're definitely battling the GameFly. They're battling any rental service, really. Even like Redbox. They're battling all of these in order to get you back into GameStop, because let's just face it, GameStop's been sucking lately, and a lot of people haven't been bothering to go in there and generate any foot traffic, and they've tried to do things like selling shirts and, like, you know, Funko Pops and like all this other merch to get people in to bother going to a brick and mortar store, like not just ordering off Amazon or getting, you know, Best Buy online or stuff like that. But now it looks like they have a compelling offer here. Wouldn't you guys think?
I mean, for people who don't have a bunch of games, and I mean, yeah, it's good. What was it, like $60 or something like that? And you could play as many games as you want for a certain amount of time. So, yeah, why not?
Well, it's $60 for 6 months now, right? Because before it was going to be like just $10 a month, but they want people to get in and do it like for a long period of time. They want to lock people in. So it's $60 for 6 months instead of just like $10 a month. But I mean, it's everything in the store, man. Like, you pay for this pass, you have the Switch, you have PS4, you have Xbox One, you have even retro games. Like, some GameStops have retro games now. You can like take out NES games, you know? So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
Yep.
Clowns, thoughts on this?
I think it's excellent. It's a great idea. GameStop needs to adapt. I mean, they are kind of like a dinosaur company, right? Sure, some devs may get upset because they're losing money on this possibly, but like I said before to a few journalists that, I've never harassed in my life, I suggested to them that the industry could put labels on the disc saying not for rental, or they can charge like a rental fee to GameStop for this type of program.
Interesting. See, I hadn't thought of that. When I see something like this, and this is a leak, by the way, that was confirmed by GameStop. This page that I grabbed here, I believe the original source is Polygon, but I'm not 100% sure. I grabbed it off of GameSpot, I believe, and they leaked this. This was in one of the magazines, and so when you see something like this, you almost think that like GameStop has already done the due diligence to kind of like negotiate with the companies and make sure that this is an okay thing to do. But perhaps they haven't, clowns, you thinking?
You mean cleared it with the industry?
Yeah, cleared it with like cleared it with essentially with everyone in the industry, yeah. Because like you're suggesting that devs would put, would charge something extra, or publishers would charge something extra in order to have their games participate in this?
I don't think GameStop probably ran it by all the publishers and developers out there. I think GameStop was kind of just trying to get this pushed through. Because the more people they notify about this, the more likely the industry may complain or backlash a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think once the industry starts to backlash or complain is when GameStop and them might come to some sort of agreement about rental fees or some type of fees or something to offset the cost for devs while GameStop is making out.
Right. Because, this is obviously going to lead to fewer newer game sales because now people are going to be interested in this. Think of how many games go used. Like at my local GameStop in Boston, right? You can have games that are used that are like 2 days old. Legitimately.
Yeah.
Like especially the single player, like Horizon Zero Dawn. I remember looking for that, and that game was used like a day later at my local GameStop. So you're instantly able to rent new releases. So why purchase it for $60? You know what I mean? So yeah, it is dangerous, clowns, and I see, and your point is definitely well taken. I think they need to be careful that people don't get upset about this. And I know I've seen on Twitter some indie devs tweeting out about this, kind of against this, because a lot of indie devs are now starting to, especially on the Switch, starting to release their games on physical medium. And now they're probably rethinking that because they're gonna get screwed out of some money. But
I mean, this definitely affects PS Now. It definitely affects Xbox Game Pass. To what extent it's going to affect it in the long run, no one has any ideas yet, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
But I think GameStop is going to affect that sort of market. And PS Now should come down in price.
Yeah, PS Now is definitely going to come down in price. PS Now as a service is now like a distant third if you compare all these. Like if you compare this to Game Pass and to PS Now, like you just did, clowns, PS Now is definitely in third. Like Games Pass has fewer games, but at least they're current gen games. A lot of them are current gen games, and you can download them to your console, so you're not streaming them from some server that's may lag out on you. And Games Pass, they're adding games to that all the time, and the price is right. But like even so, like even if you look at Games Pass, that's around the same price monthly. Like $10 a month, just like this. Even that, if you stack it up against this Power Pass, I think Power Pass is absolutely a better deal, like without question.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the fact that at the end of the term, you get to keep one of the games. I don't know if GameStop will eventually limit if it could be a new release or not. Right now, they're going to let you do it, but in the future, who knows?
Yeah, right.
I mean, anything could change with GameStop. They're like on a fly-by-fly basis.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they're like treading water right now, so they got to do anything. And Fastback247 YouTube chat says something very important. He says, you might see more devs do like what PUBG is doing or Cuphead, where they'll just put a code in a case and not an actual disc. Like they'll have the actual case, but there'll be a code and they'll prevent this kind of thing. And I think if that were a reality, I think a lot of people would be pissed, because the reason they buy it physically is because people still have this mindset that like they want something that's theirs. They want to like own a physical item. They don't want digital, because who knows when the servers will go down and then you don't own that anymore. Like it's taken away from you. They want something tangible that they can feel and hold and all that.
Yeah, I got one question that I'm going to bring into this that I just thought of. What happens with games, like when Borderlands did the triple pack, or Call of Duty does the triple packs? What happens with those? Is GameStop going to count those as one game because they're all in the same case?
Yeah, because they're all in the same case. Yep.
So, I mean, I hate to say it, in the end, the gamers win. Gamers that couldn't maybe afford all that stuff will win.
Absolutely. Segatron in the Mixer chat says it's really bad and laggy. I think he's talking about the PS Now. My initial experience with PS Now was bad. Clowns has used PS Now recently, and you said it was decent, right? It was pretty decent.
Yeah, it was okay. Like, if you're going to play games like Sly Cooper and some of those older titles that don't require such heavy input millisecond response time, I think you're good. If you're going to play stuff with input lag and FPS, you're screwed.
Right. Taylor, are you gonna? I know you're always saying I can't play this game because I don't get the money. Now you got this $10 a month program. You can play these games quick. Is this something for you, or?
I might end up getting it, just because I also do go into GameStop literally every single week.
Mm-hmm.
So I might just get it, so that way I can just pick up a game whenever I want. And then, but I mean, I also have Game Pass, which is easier and more convenient. I don't have to drive anywhere to go get it.
Right. Yep.
But this at least gives me the option to, if I see something in store that I want to play, I can just grab it and go. So it's just a win-win for me.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is. It definitely is. I mean, for someone in your situation that like, is making choices on buying games or not, because like $60 is a lot of money for games. Like some games are definitely not worth $60. Like, a lot of people have to make that decision. That's why these like service plans like Games Pass and like PS Now are really popular, and why this thing's going to be really popular is because this literally gives you the option to play anything. Games Pass gives you an opportunity to play a lot of stuff, not a huge library, but a good amount of stuff, and like you said, from the convenience of your own home. So it's really simple in that way and has an advantage that way. And then PS Now has a pretty big library, albeit a lot of older games. And so like people, that's why these services are even popular, because you just literally can play so much for so little money, and for the price of one game, you're getting 6 months of playing whatever you want. I mean, that's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. And like in this ad, if you guys notice in this ad, like they have like Madden 18, they have Zelda Breath of the Wild, they have Horizon Zero Dawn, like GTA 5, they have Overwatch. Like these are games that like people are playing. These are popular games that are absolutely going to be part of this program, because damn right that if you look online right now, there's Horizon Zero Dawn used at your GameStop, like without a question. Definitely GTA 5 without a question.
Well, another thing I want to bring in this real quick before I forget is that in Taylor's case, this may work out for her or her sister, because if they play 3DS or Switch titles, you can get those at the end of the rental period, and those usually never come down in price.
Exactly, yeah, and that's a good point, because I forgot to say that, but like you also gotta factor in the fact the last game that you have you own. So if your last game that you own is like a Nintendo title, like you just said, that never comes down in price, I mean, it's yours. So, I mean, that's a pretty big deal. Assassin, I know you're gonna hop all over this, bro.
No, but I was gonna say you could make a little money, spend the $10, grab a game that has a very high trade value, grab that game, then turn around and trade it.
No, I think that you don't keep the game unless you do the 6-month one.
Oh.
So,
yeah, at the end of the 6 months. But, Assassin, you bring up a good point, because if they do a flip special, you wait till the very end to pick a new release that somebody already traded in, you're going to flip that for like 3 times in one of the specials.
And this is an opportunity for people to play games that they thought they would never play, and potentially they get into it, and they'll actually have enough time to because like you have to do this for 6 months from the get-go. You can't just like do 1 month right now. So you do half a year. You can gift this to someone too, by the way. This is giftable. As long as you have a Power Up Rewards account, then you can do this, and you don't even have to have the paid one. You can use the free one. You can get a game, try it out, and if you really like it, I mean, you can nurse it for a few months, even like The Witcher, or like Persona 5. These games that you play lots and lots of hours in, you have it for a very long time, and then you can just return it. So I mean, I think it's a great idea, and I think this is gonna be huge for GameStop. Actually, I think a lot of people are gonna do this. I wonder how their used game sales are going to do after this, though.
Well, with all the indie sales going on and all the sales between Xbox and PlayStation, the flash sales, the Reddit game deal threads, I think GameStop's used sales are taking a hit. I mean, Target and Walmart dropping prices within 3 to 6 months on most titles.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, I mean... Even so, I mean, their used game market must be absolutely dreadful right now too, for them to even like consider this. Like Sobsky says in the YouTube chat, it's very silly for GameStop, too consumer friendly, and I think you're probably right. I think it really is. But they must have had the calculations. They must be making decent amount of money for them to do this. Last comment on this before we move on. Chicken Spaghetti wants to know what you guys think. What happens when digital makes up half of the market share, or even surpasses physical, like it's probably going to pretty soon? Thoughts? Anyone? Sobsky says digital prices need to go down 20% in order to like compensate for this. Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, digital price. Who knows how popular this is going to be? I mean, obviously GameStop is mostly in the U.S. So who knows how this is going to poach the digital market, but it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see for sure. I think more people are willing to like go back to physical if they do this deal, to be honest. Because like for some people, GameStop's like 5 minutes away. It's not really an inconvenience. Some people, GameStop's like 30 minutes away. It's a huge inconvenience. So,
if Redbox started doing stuff like this and increased their game inventory,
game over.
Man,
yeah,
game over.
Game over. Game over. All right, that's the GameStop news. Go check that out. That's like in 2 weeks that thing starts. So maybe I'll sign up for it and check it out. $60, why not? Maybe I'll gift it to my nephews. That'd be sick. Gift it to them. They can go in, get whatever games they want. Just
I feel like this would be more like for kids, because their parents don't want to put their credit card on the consoles,
right,
and let them buy stuff that they'll let them do this, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, parents will see this, they'll be like, oh, 6 months, my kid can play anything? Fuck yeah, $60? Like, sure. Let's just do this, instead of like the kid being like, oh, I want to play Overwatch. Oh, I want to play GTA. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't play GTA. I want it. And then they eventually cave and pay $60. And then, if they have a Switch, it's like, oh, Odyssey's out. Oh, Splatoon's out. Oh, ARMS is out. Oh, Zelda's out. And then by the end of it, you're 1,000 in the hole, for God's sakes.
Exactly.
But like, in 6 months, kids are going to be over what they're playing. You know what I mean? Like, you would have wasted. That's a good point, Taylor, because you would have wasted that $60 in that game probably anyway, because they'll probably be over it in like a month or two or whatever. I mean,
yep.
So,
I bet all the people that bought Agents of Mayhem wish this Game Pass was out.
Absolutely, that's the first game I'm gonna take out on this thing. Can't wait to play through that. All right, so that's the GameStop news. What else? Oh, just really quick, because we've already talked about this kind of, but we finally have a date for PUBG 12/12/2017. Same price, physical and digital. The physical release, as we kind of said already in the podcast, is just going to be a code in a case, so it's not really physical. But if you order on Amazon Prime or if you order on Best Buy, you can get this thing for $24 because if you have Games Club Unlocked or Prime member.
They should have made like the Pilgrims and did it on Thanksgiving, so that winner chicken dinner meant somebody got a free chicken dinner.
Jesus, dude.
I'm just saying, it would have been a great marketing play, right?
Yeah, no,
It would have been.
I agree. Yeah, release the thing on Thanksgiving. I like that. But 12/12/2017, like, just really quick, I want to go around to everyone. Does that date make sense to you? Is it, I know what Khan's going to say because he's saying it, and I agree with him that this is a little late. But if you just, like, look at the landscape right now of, like, what's going on right now, do you think this is a good date or do you think it's a bad date?
It's an okay date. I mean, we get to play all our games that are coming out, and then we get to play PUBG.
Right, exactly. That's why I think it's a great date because, like, November is packed with a bunch of heavy hitters, especially FPS games.
Well, what day is Black Friday on this year?
24th.
So we're looking at what, roughly 18 days after Black Friday, something like that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I think what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to buy games on Black Friday that didn't pick up the games this past Friday, like Super Mario Odyssey and AC Origins, Call of Duty, and all that stuff, and they're going to be like, oh, PUBG came out 12/12, but I'm still working on AC Origins right now. So I'll see you after Christmas, buddy.
You think?
Yeah, I do. Because I know on Black Friday I go crazy at the game section.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's true. I mean, a lot of people will buy. The thing is, like, on Black Friday, like, I buy stuff that I'm kind of on the fence on. So, and PUBG for me is, like, going to be a thing that I definitely buy. So I'm more likely to hop right on that, But
and besides that, like, for me, like you said, PUBG took so long to come out that I'm not as excited about it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not excited that they've had so many memory issues and leaks on the PC. I'm wondering if people are going to use that to hack the Xbox One X. I'm not happy about the fact that it gets laggy at times. I'm not happy with the fact that the matches are kind of short. Like, do I really want to waste $30 up front when this launches for something with all those issues, or am I going to wait till it drops down to like 15?
Right. Yeah, and that's the problem. This is still in game preview, and that's the thing. Like, Chicken Spaghetti is talking in the YouTube chat about this, and I saw him on Twitter saying that he didn't think it was right for games to release in game preview at the stores. Like, you shouldn't be able to buy a disc at a store and it not be complete. And part of that I agree with, and part of it I disagree. But I don't want to get into that really. People still the take home point I think is, like, people need to know that this is in preview. So if they get the bugs and they, like, don't want to deal with it, then they're probably just gonna wait. Like, a lot of people don't want to deal with incomplete stuff, and that's, if you don't want to, then that's totally fine. Like, that's very acceptable because, like, you don't want to pay money to play a game that's incomplete. It's a decent argument, but, like, people don't go into stores and expect incomplete games on the shelf. So, like, how are they gonna appease these people and keep them interested? Like, Clowns, like, for you, it's incomplete, but if, like, somebody was like your mindset and they didn't know, and they went and they bought it and they played it and found out that it was incomplete, they may like shelf it, like you said, and play something else and be like, see you later, Well,
that's why it says game preview on the box. I have a feeling it's somewhere on the box saying
yeah, but the thing in Assassin is, though, like, when it comes out on 12/12, right, it's kind of like before Christmas for most people, the holidays. And a lot of parents are not going to know what the hell game preview means. They're going to buy it, and then if their kids find bugs in it or lags or some issue, and they're younger kids, like my daughter, she hates lag. If a game lags, she flings down her console and says it's trash. She can't stand it. So if this game was to lag and she was playing it, oh my God, I wouldn't want to hear what's being said on the microphone.
Well, I feel like the kids should know it's in preview. If they know what the game is, they should know it's not technically out.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're gonna. Did you see the box art? Did it say that, like, very clearly? I didn't see the box art.
The picture Chicken Spaghetti poster wasn't, but if you go to GameStop, it says it in the yellow box, Game Preview Edition or whatever.
Right.
Right on the box.
I mean, some people might think it's like a Metal Gear. What is it? What the last Metal? I don't even play it because I didn't like it.
Phantom Pain?
Yeah, like remember the prequel to that came out like a little bit before it.
Yeah, Ground Zeroes. Yeah.
So some people might interpret game preview as like, oh, a preview of the full game.
Right. Right. No, I know. There's gonna be some dumb people or not dumb, but like people that aren't
More
like,
casual.
yeah, that are more casual, that don't know what that terminology means necessarily, and like people are gonna be surprised about that. But I don't know. It's like I don't know what this trend is with games lately. Like really good games are like Ark, games like that where it's like everything's always in preview or in beta forever, or H1Z1, or all these games that are like, oh, this is gonna be in preview for just years and years and years, and will never hit full release. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, by the time that they finish it, it's going to be, the next gen of consoles, and they're going to be on an older engine.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I know that people want PUBG, so they're trying to like fill the demand and put it out there. I just think that they need to be more upfront with some things, and I think that, they shouldn't have taken so long.
Yeah. No, I know. Taking as long as it is going to hurt it, because if they had come out with this right when they made the announcement, like if that were at all possible, I mean, I think people would have bought Xboxes just for this game. But now it's kind of like maybe they're not going to. Maybe they already have it on PC. Like they said, 19 million people already bought this. So, people might have already made the plunge in the PC version like me and Taylor did. Even though I'm going to buy the Xbox version, I still will, but like because I enjoy the game.
I'll buy
but
an Xbox.
You're going to buy it on Xbox too, right?
Yeah,
Taylor?
because I can stand the controls better.
Yeah.
I'm so awful with PC controls.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I still think it's gonna do really well. Like I think the date is good in terms of like the current landscape. I would have liked it earlier. Like if you look at the big picture, but like if you just look at holiday season, like this is a good spot, I think. Taylor, is this a good spot for you for your purchasing habits, or what do you think?
Oh my lord, my dogs. For my purchasing habits, it's perfectly fine. However, I am leaving 2 days after it releases, and I won't be back until December 25th.
Oh my god, that sucks.
So, I would like it to be earlier.
Right.
Just so I have more time to play it. But
oh my god, that was like me with Destiny when I had to go away for work. Oh my god, I still haven't played it. Oh.
You still haven't played Destiny?
I know. Isn't that crazy?
All the DLCs.
I didn't play it because I didn't buy it. I don't care for Destiny. But
yeah, I pre-ordered it, and then I had to go away for work, and then when I came back, everybody was already like max level, so. Right, Assassin? Thanks, bud.
I can delete my Titan.
No,
Exactly
no. I would not have asked that of you. I'm trying to get my brother to get on there and play it, but... What were you going to say, Assassin? Sorry, bud.
I deleted like 10 characters on the first game. I think deleting just one.
Alright, do it then. Do it.
Whenever you're going to get on the game.
I don't know. Soon. This
Okay,
weekend.
well,
This weekend.
I'll Call of Duty then.
Oh, okay.
Gotta play that.
Forget it. Jesus.
Oh, you gotta get on the Xbox so we can kill the Nazis.
Speaking of Nazis, a big Nazi game just came out recently, along with 2 other huge titles on October 27, 2017. Probably one of the best release dates in video game history. We had Super Mario Odyssey on the Nintendo Switch, and we had Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, and Assassin's Creed Origins finally on PlayStation and Xbox and PC. So I think we'll start with Origins because I think most people can say something about that. So Taylor, I'll let you start on this because I know you're a huge Assassin's Creed fan. What do you think about Origins so far? I know you don't want to give any spoilers, but maybe like mechanics or what you like that's new or the setting or whatever.
So first off, the setting, obviously, because I love ancient Egypt. It's one of my favorite things. Anytime we talked about it in school, I was very excited. The mechanics, I like it a lot more. The only thing I really don't like is so your eagle vision is basically 2 parts now. You have the actual eagle, and then you have another version which kind of shows you where all the loot stuff is. But to see people, you have to be in the eagle. You can't use like holding the down arrow, I think, or the down key, and seeing where all the loot is. Sorry, I'm actually playing the game while I'm talking about it. But so That's the one thing I really don't like about the switch of mechanics, is just because I'm not used to being able to walk around and see where everyone is. It just makes it a little more confusing.
Right, because the Eagle Vision is essentially replaced like what we typically think of like mini-map, right?
Right.
So,
And then
okay,
something I really do like about it is with this one, you can pick whether you want it to be easy, medium, or hard, which you haven't been able to do before, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember doing that. But, so if you just want to go through the story and you just want to play through the story, you can just select easy and you can coast through it, or you can be like me and Reezy and our friend Caboose and go hard because you're not going to wuss out. I was trying to find the right word that wasn't a swear word.
I like that. You're not going to wuss out. I like that. Yeah, I mean, like, I assume the hard version, like, you know, the AI is smarter and you take less more damage or whatever. But, like, a lot of people complain about that in video games. I think it's a good thing. Like the difficulty scales and stuff. Even Odyssey has it. Super Mario Odyssey has like the assisted mode where it kind of like helps you around the map if you get lost, because there's like a shit ton of stuff to find in Odyssey. So I like it.
Options are always good. Like, I don't know why people would be upset, you know?
Yeah, because people like complaining because you get the same achievements if you put it on easy as you put it on hard. And that's not even necessarily true. I mean, sometimes it is, but
there's some achievements that you're going to get regardless, like story achievements.
Yeah.
You're going to get them regardless.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some where you get achievements for beating the game on a certain mode. So if you beat the game on hard mode, you'll unlock it for just beating the game, you'll unlock it for beating it on medium, and you'll unlock it for beating it on hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, again, if you don't wuss out, you'll get all the achievements.
You get all of them, yeah. You'll get all of them, exactly.
I gotta keep that word in my mind now because I keep wanting to say the B word. But
it's all right. It's okay. It's all right. I like wuss out better, actually, to be honest.
And then with the fighting,
yeah,
it's changed so much, and I like it so much better.
Oh, yeah.
Because with the other ones, it was just kind of mash the X and the A button. Hopefully you'll grab someone and you'll be able to like throw them on the ground, or you'll just punch them correctly or whatever. But with this one, you actually have to move around the target. You have to find the right way to hit them. The AoE stuff is a little bit weird with it sometimes.
Mm-hmm, yeah, definitely.
But if you use the lock on, then it's a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I found that too when I played the build at E3. I thought the fighting was much better. I thought it was much more fluid. I thought it was like way more approachable, not so much like parry based, you know. It wasn't like counterattack as much as it was like attack, which I liked. But yeah, you're right about the AoE stuff. Like it's a little wonky, but yeah, I didn't figure out until halfway through my playtime at E3 that you could like lock on people for some reason. And all of a sudden I'm just like, oh shit, like why wasn't I doing this from the get-go? Because I'm just like bouncing around like fighting thin air. And then like I'm like, oh shit, you can lock on people. Nice.
You know, I'll give them credit for trying something different. I think, you know, that they try to make it more like an RPG, and I think it does feel more like an RPG. I mean, not as detailed as The Witcher, of course, but it's more leaning that way than previous Assassin's Creeds. The only thing that, some of the things I actually didn't like about this one is that I felt like it's too barren. Like the deserts are way too barren, and there's not a whole lot in between everything. And it just seems like some of the characters are out of place. It doesn't feel right for an Assassin's Creed with the characters.
I mean, it is a lot different. It's a huge divergence, you know, and like that's gonna rub some people the right way and some people the wrong way for sure. Like I could see on people's faces when I watched them play at E3 that they weren't as into it, like the narrative parts that were in the demo, like they weren't as into it as like I've seen in the past with people playing like, you know, Black Flag, for instance. I thought a lot of people were into that. Or like Syndicate. Like when I watch people play Syndicate, like they're really into that story. They're really into the narrative there. Or even like Assassin's Creed 3 back in the day. Like I know a lot of people were like super psyched for that narrative. That was a little bit of a divergence, and they were really into that. But then this one, like, it's really hit or miss with people on whether or not they're really enjoying it. Like, not only are you changing the way Assassin's Creed like story tells, but you're also changing the gameplay mechanics. So it's a huge change, and it's gonna be very hit or miss. But Woody Mass says he hates the lock on in this game. He just uses right bumper, pull right bumper move, kickstand enemy right. Kickstanded enemies arses. Nice.
Yeah, I'm with Woody. I do the same thing, and then I also use a lot of the sleeping and the poison darts, and then I just sit there and I just watch them die slowly. Like I won't even bother to do anything. I'll just sit there and wait.
Nice.
It's funny that you say that because in the older ones, I always used the sleep darts and all that, but in this one, I'm not using it so much. I'm going more in and I'm like just running up behind people and just assassinating instead of.
It might be because you're enjoying the combat a little bit more.
Honestly, that's probably it. The combat is so much nicer in this one.
Yeah, it really is. It's like so much more like action packed and like
it's just smooth.
Yeah, it's so smooth and like you actually feel like you're kicking ass in this one instead of like action and then go hide or some shit or like you know what I mean? It's like it's much less like defensive than offensive.
Yeah.
One thing I don't like about the game is the bird simulator. Like I get it. No, I'm being serious though.
Okay.
Assassin. When I first talked to Assassin about this, he's like, "Oh, you only got to use the bird like a little bit." No, and you got to use the bird for every single thing you're looking for. Every mission, you have to use that damn freaking bird to find the orange things in the mission area. It's ridiculous. And then if the circle,
it takes like 2 seconds.
It's so but I just want to go in and sleep dart people and poison them, and then chop a few people up. I don't want this bird flying in the sky. I hope my bird gets killed.
Dude, there's a lot of I've seen a lot of hate for the mini map going away. I've seen a lot of the hate, but
yeah.
I think it's I like the bird. I like the bird thing. I mean,
I do like the bird.
Like the mini map is good because like there's a shit ton to do in this game as there is in all Assassin's Creed games, and like that helps you out a ton. But like at the same time, I feel like I'm actually like finding or you actually find stuff with the bird. You know what I mean? Like with the mini map, it's kind of like, oh, you stumbled across this thing. Oh, cool. Like,
yeah.
You know
Whereas
what I mean?
the bird, you can purposely go look for it and it not take forever.
And like, why can't I change out my bird for a different animal? Like, I think they should have put that option in there, or even like, even a paid option. Like,
and it's called Eagle Vision.
Yeah, but I like I like the crocodiles better.
I don't think a crocodile could fly.
No, but
I'm just saying.
They could crawl and land, and some of them go pretty damn fast. So I mean, like that'd be great. You use a crocodile, you eat some people, shows it, then you take them in the water.
The bird is bad. You're gonna have to walk around all over the place trying to find the objective when you can just fly over buildings.
But you could eat people on the way there, dragging their body into the objective. That'd be so much cooler than this bird flying around. Or you could just grab
a body.
I did that Mafia 3, not in this one.
Wow.
Oh, it says the stream is offline.
What?
Never mind. It's back. It's back. Don't have a panic attack.
Wow, I was going to say, that's really weird because it says live for me.
Psychotron says Mixer.
No, that was before. No, that was before when we were talking about PS Now.
Okay.
It's really bad and laggy thing. Clowns.
Yeah, on Mixer, that's what you're saying. I don't see any issues on YouTube yet, so I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. It just like went offline for like 10 seconds. That was weird.
Dad says they got some buffering.
Buffering? Let me see. Why? Why is this? Why? Let me see. I am showing a little bit of buffering on YouTube for some reason. Let me see. Interesting. Hold on. Let me see. Huh. Are we back? Are we back on YouTube?
It says we're live.
Okay.
For me, it says, it keeps going back and forth between.
It's got a circle.
This is so weird.
Excuse me. Dad said everyone refresh.
Okay, so it must be back then.
And we are back live. Sorry about that, Assassin. I go sign my petition. All right.
Assassin's picture got screwed up because I restarted the stream. Okay, cool. All right.
Oh, it keeps going back and forth between.
It's got a circle. Assassin, you dyed your hair?
This is so weird.
Excuse me. Dad said everyone.
Blonde or whatever now.
Let me refresh the page and see what happens.
Yeah, it's blonde in that one. That's an old picture.
Oh my god, no! I have to fix Assassin's picture. All right, let me put this back up. Get back into talking about that. I don't even remember where we left off now.
Talking about Assassin's Creed. I believe Clowns was complaining about the fact that you can't switch the eagle out for another animal.
Oh yeah, he wants to be a crocodile, right? Assassin said crocodiles don't fly. Right. I remember this now.
As a good old Elton John once said, crocodile rocked.
Jesus. Assassin, you want to say anything real quick about Assassin's Creed before we move on?
Haven't played it. Haven't seen really anything about it.
Okay,
I'm waiting for the X.
All right, sick. Awesome. Because we got to move on to the next game, which I think we'll do Wolfenstein next. Now, Assassin and Clans, I know. Taylor, have you played Wolfenstein? No, right?
Oh.
I'm guessing? Yeah, I had a feeling.
I played a lot.
So, Clowns and Assassin on Wolfenstein, what do you guys think of that?
Don't know. I haven't played it.
What do you mean? I thought you played it.
No, he won't play anything till the X drops.
Oh my god. We're going to have to re-talk about this on a different show then. We're going to have to talk about this again in 2 weeks when no one cares.
Because I know if I beat Wolfenstein or Assassin's Creed, let's just say, I'm not going to go back and see all the pretty X enhancements.
Yeah, because the season pass is there.
Yeah, but that's going to be months from now.
No.
It's just going to be a small part of the game. I want to see the whole game.
It's Bethesda. It's not going to be months from now. It's not going to be a small part of the game, Assassin. Just had to say it in your voice there, buddy.
I need to experience the whole game.
Oh, do you?
The whole game.
One.
Well, I'm just going to say real quick, I think the game is great. I didn't like the previous Wolfensteins that much, but this one I'm actually enjoying. I did have to turn the difficulty down from medium to easy just because I was having a hard time with the game. I'm not as good with the stealth in Wolfenstein as I guess I should be. Maybe I should practice Dishonored more. I don't know. That game's in the garbage.
Jesus.
So yeah, it's a great game. It's very bloody. It's very violent. Context doesn't matter. If you play this game and you get sensitive to violence, you don't want to play this game. You definitely don't want to play this game. It's more brutal than The Last of Us 2. It makes The Last of Us 2 look like Disney.
Oh.
Disney.
Yep.
What did you say? Disney?
Disney, rainbows, Care Bears, snorkels, Smurfs. Makes The Last of Us 2 fit in that world.
Nice. Oh man. All right, well we're gonna have to talk about that then in a couple weeks or something. Because yeah, I haven't played it either. And I need to get it because my brother's hounding me on buying it.
Good game. Get the season pass with it too. Be like me.
There you go. Maybe I will. Last but not least, Clowns Odyssey, bro.
Yes, it's good, man. It's a good game. I'm a big fan of nostalgia and the older platformers, and I didn't think I was going to take to like this one as much. Now, in all fairness, I don't like it as much as the one on Nintendo Entertainment System just because I'm a nostalgia fanboy. But I do like it a lot, and I didn't expect to like it as much as I do. I think it's creative. I think it's fun. It's got a lot of humor in the game. Mario is awesome, of course. Mario is awesome, of course.
Mario, there you go.
Yeah.
There's nothing bad I can say about it.
Yeah, it's the real deal. It's a little too fetchy for me. I mean, there's 800 moons, and that's a lot of stuff to collect, and a lot of stuff is almost manufactured. You have to go collect it just for the fact of collecting it. It has nothing to do with the story. There's a lot of stuff that you get at the moon. The way to do it is you have to go through this maze around and it's behind a rock or something, or it's hidden in a bush or something like that. So those ones I don't really like, but all the story based and quest kind of based stuff that you can do, I really do like. It reminds me of Super Mario 64 a lot. So I do like that. And the graphics, man, are great. Graphics are really, really good. So I know, Assassin, you jelly, son?
I'm a little bit, but after watching some, I hate that because I personally like the Super Mario 64 or the Galaxy or Super Mario Sunshine, and I don't like this whole like open world type of a feel that it has to it.
Yeah, it's really fetchy. It is. It's like go
Yeah.
anywhere and find stuff. It's like more of a it's more of a like I don't know, like retrieval game than it is like a progressing get things to go to the, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's if you really think about it, it is just like the stars in Super Mario 64, except the ways you get them are so much more like open world and fetchy. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like a little bit of puzzles to get to each thing too. You know, I'm probably not as far as you, but I got to like a desert town with ice, and I had to figure out like I had to figure out like a little bit of what to do, like puzzle wise.
yeah, some of them are puzzles. Yeah, some are good. I mean, some are real good. You know, you can go get a moon that takes you through a puzzle, then to a boss, and then you get the moon and you feel really accomplished. And then you'll do one where it's just like literally like you sneak behind this rock and you're like, oh, I didn't know something was there. Let me break that. Oh, found it. You know what I mean? It's just, it's like in one situation you feel like you're doing something to progress the story, and then the next one you feel like you're just like sneaking around. You found one. You know, it's I don't like that about it. But I mean, the mechanics are excellent. The hat mechanic, taking over certain items on the level, certain like characters like frogs or what have you. I think that mechanic is really, really good. So
yeah, I thought that was really cool. Like the turn on the lamppost with the hat. That was freaking creative, man.
yeah.
The one thing that threw me off in this game, there's one thing I didn't like about it, is I felt like that the bunny bosses were like kind of like rabbids, if that makes sense. Like
Nice.
I couldn't understand why they were in there. Like, why did Nintendo go with those things instead of like the usual Bowser kids and turtles?
Yeah, it does look more rabid like than Bowser. I will admit that. I don't know if they were like trying to introduce a new thing in the universe when they didn't even have to, but I don't know. Yeah, that kind of like caught me off guard a little bit too. And then like there's this one boss, this is kind of a spoiler, but it's not really, that like throws a chomp guy. And you have to like take control of that chomp guy. And I thought that fight was cool, but I couldn't stop thinking like, who is this bitch that I'm fighting? Like, I don't know who that guy is. Like, he doesn't resonate with me as a Mario fan. Like, I have no idea what I'm even doing right now. I just know that I'm fighting a boss. Like, yeah, I get where you're going, Clowns. I get where you're going with that.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I heard rumors that this could be the last Mario game, and maybe that Nintendo wants to further the IP within the universe or something. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's selling like crazy right now. I mean, like 2 million plus units already in a week, so, or not even. So that's pretty crazy. All right, so that was the huge October 27th that we had those 3 games. If I had to pick 2, if I were to pick 1, I mean, I would probably get Mario. But if I were to pick 2, I'm kind of with Assassin here. I think I'm going AC Origins first.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm gonna play it like on the day the X releases and it has the patch. But because Wolfenstein, like, that's a game that's like timeless. You can play it whenever. I feel like Assassin's Creed, like, I don't know. I just get more enjoyment out of it if I play it like closer to launch. Like, I don't feel like going back, and like that's the reason I didn't get the Ezio collection, because I don't really feel like going back and playing those games again. Like, it's just not as relevant to me for some reason. I don't know. I'm just weird, but
Yeah, you're right.
Yep, you are.
I don't know. Like, Wolfenstein, like, I feel like I can go and pick that up now and play it and still think it's relevant, like the original one, the New Order. But like Assassin's Creed, like, I know if I wait too long, I'm not gonna want to play it. That's pretty weird, I know, but just
Yeah, it is weird.
bear with me.
Just hate him.
I know, I'm a hater. I know. But yeah, okay. So last topic of the night, really quick. this isn't gonna be like super quick, but because it is an important topic, but I think a lot of people are kind of overblowing it. So Paris Games Week is this week, of course, in Paris, and Sony had like a keynote where they did a little presentation, and in that presentation they had a bunch of trailers for some cool stuff, which we'll get to, and some new stuff like Guacamelee 2, which I'm absolutely looking forward to, and Spelunky 2, which I'm looking forward to, and they showed off some cool VR stuff. But the outrage is with the Last of Us 2 trailer and with the Detroit Beyond Human trailer, and people think this is overblown, like no one's talking about this. People are talking about this because if you just search in Google, like I did right before the podcast, Last of Us 2 trailer, if that's all you search and you hit enter, the three things that appear first are these things that I'm showing right here. Last of Us Part 2's trailer misses the point from IGN. Then someone says the new Last of Us 2 trailer made me sick to my stomach, and that's from Forbes. And then another site, comicbook.com, I guess, said, is that comicbook.com? I'll look it up real quick. Sony issue statement concerning the nature of The Last of Us 2. So it is, comicbook.com. So they had to release a statement because so many people were outraged about, The Last of Us 2 trailer in particular. And if I'm going to vote, I think The Last of Us 2 trailer was definitely way more gruesome and gut-wrenching and uncomfortable to me than the Detroit one, but that's...
I got to add something to that. I know that you're looking at it from the devil's advocate point and everybody else's point, but you got to think about it this way, right? So, yeah, they shoved it in your face without you expecting it. But if you were to buy the game in there, it's going to prevent a lot of people from whining that way. Because a lot of those people that would whine and complain about it are like, oh, now I know it's violent, so I'm not going to get it because of that scene. Right. Whereas if they would have picked it up and the scene came up, they're like, oh my God, it's so violent. Get me tissues.
Yeah, because the game would come out and it'd be M-rated. Like, it's not going to be adults only. It's going to be an M rating. It's going to come out and people would play through that scene, and you wouldn't see people on Twitter being like, or people in their reviews being like, wow, like this one scene really ruined the game for me, 4 out of 10. Like, I'm not, don't play this because this one scene. But, like, the thing is that's how they presented it. They presented the game, like, they had their chance to show you what this game was about, and they show it like this. Like, that's why I think it was a bad look. I don't necessarily think it's a bad look to have it in the game. I just think it's a bad look because, like, they took the opportunity to show this game off to everyone, and this to be, like, the first real, like, serious trailer for Last of Us Part 2. And everyone's anticipating this game, and then they show off a 5-minute trailer like that. It's just like, oh, man, that just puts a bad impression in my head. But I do get where you come from, clowns, and I agree.
I think people are going overboard, though. I think people are becoming so liberal that they're anti-liberal and they're falling into communism. And they want to censor free speech. Whereas if you're a true liberal, you express freedom, you express creativity, you're okay with it. Even if you disagree with it, you could debate about it, and you're okay with it. But when you start whining and wanting stuff censored and like that, then you're going past your own ideals. It's becoming ridiculous. It's just terrible, man, the way people are overreacting. It's video games, work of fiction, it's creative art, no different than comic books, Star Wars, all the other stuff out there. It's really no different. And it's apocalyptic game, the end of time, the end of humanity, all this shit's going down. And, even in real life, when people have their backs to the wall and they feel like the world's going to end, they do crazy stuff just like this. Militias, cults, rapes, thefts. Unfortunately, it happens in real life, and it sucks. Yeah, it's shitty, but this is fiction. It's not real. It's not real, and people are just taking it like it's so real. They just need to get over it, man.
Yeah, it's like it's like I heard somebody. I was on Brad podcast yesterday, and Matt Piscatella said, from the NPD group, said that it may have struck a chord with him more because of how realistic it looked, because like the faces grimacing and stuff, like I think that looks really, really good for a video game, and maybe that was part of it. Like if these were just like pixelated, like cell shaded guys getting hanged and getting their arms beat in with a hammer, like it wouldn't be as gruesome. But like, so there is a point to it there, but like at the same time, like it's kind of like movies. It's fiction, and if you're uncomfortable with it, don't play it, obviously. But you gotta have that expectation that it is just fiction, you know.
And in this preview, this gives you hope if you're a fan of the series, because that's like your hero, and your hero gets up and kicks ass right afterwards. Mm-hmm. Like she has backup and they kick ass. So I don't know what the real issue is here.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna interject now.
Yeah, please.
But the other thing that's kind of weird to me is if you see this kind of stuff for a movie trailer, you don't get this kind of reaction.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So it's only because it's a video game and someone has to play through it instead of just watching it
100%
that
agree.
They have an issue with it.
Yep. I 100% agree with that. I 100% agree, because it's like people are now and people are like associating you playing the video game as like you doing that action, and that's why it's more important than a movie where you just sit and you bystand. And on one hand that is kind of true, but on the other hand, like, it is just a video game. Like, it's not like, it's not like this person is a real person that you're like controlling. Like, that has implications in and of itself, but like it's like you got to separate that. You got to separate that in order to.
For God's sake, Jigsaw is coming out like this week.
Right, it came out.
Or just came out this week.
Yeah, Jigsaw, that scene from The Walking Dead that everyone's talking about, like, and everyone talks about that. They're like, "Oh, that was sick. That was awesome. Look, that was so cool that happened."
Or like even the beginning of this last season when Abraham and Glenn were violently murdered.
Right.
Wow, spoilers! Jesus.
That was
It's in the comics.
Did anyone?
So not everyone reads the comics.
Did anyone complain about Until Dawn?
No.
Not that I know of.
Not that I saw.
And that was really violent.
Yeah, there were some scenes in that were horrendous.
Yeah.
Like,
but the difference between that is that when they showed off Until Dawn in the trailers, they didn't show that scene. You know what I mean? So it's like people now wonder, like, is this what Last of Us is going to be the entire game? Because if it's going to be like that the entire game, like, I can see people being turned off. Like, I was kind of turned off, to be honest. And I know that the game is going to be incredible because, the first one was incredible, and Naughty Dog is incredible. It has an incredible team of storytellers and programmers and animators and the whole bit. Like, they know how to put a game on, obviously. And Last of Us 1 is excellent, and this game, will probably live up to that bar, and I know it'll be good. But at the same time, like, do I want to go through this and just be doing that the entire time? Probably not.
Well, in real life, people do get arms broken with hammers. It does happen.
Yeah.
And in Resident Evil 7, most people don't eat brains at the dinner table, but that was shown off.
You sure? Kidding.
Tessin loves brains, bro.
No. But I have a feeling they're advertising Last of Us kind of like they're doing Detroit. Like, when we first saw Detroit, whatever that game's called, Detroit something, whatever. Like,
Beyond
there was,
yeah,
like, there was that scene on top of the skyscraper, and then they showed it off E3, then there was, like, people, like, breaking into places and whatnot. Then they showed this. Like, they're showing different themes of what the game's going to be about. They're kind of doing that with The Last of Us. You saw this brutal scene, but then you saw, the oh my god, I forget her name, but she was, singing with her guitar. Like, they could do something completely different in the next trailer to show off, this is what's going to be part of the game.
Which I think they need to. You know what I mean?
Which I have a feeling they probably will, but
Good.
I mean, you got to see some brutal things. It's a zombie apocalypse. Rainbows and sunshine and flowers don't happen every single day.
Yeah.
You're going to get some assholes with hammers. And then you're gonna get some guys who give you stuff. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's a good point. Like, and someone mentioned that on Brap a little bit last night, and it, I agree with both. I can't remember who said that last night, but I agree with both of you, and you're absolutely right that, like, this is where the series has gone, and this is kind of like the setting that it's in. So, like, what do you think people are gonna be doing? Like, handshake and giving kisses? Like, it's.
Maybe. I mean, write love notes, hold hands, sing campfire songs.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's people. In IGN, in their article, I read that a little bit, and they were complaining because they were like, yeah, people who played the first game expect this thing. But if you didn't play the first game and you want to jump into this, then like you're probably gonna be a little turned off, like not knowing what happened in the first game. You know?
Well, why would you play a sequel that's
No,
story
people do that.
based?
People do that.
I know. I mean, some people do, but like that's purely, story based. And you're coming in like the second one, like play the first one first.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could get the game for probably so cheap these days.
Yeah. That's true. What did you guys think about the other trailer, the Detroit Beyond Human one?
I think that was the only good trailer that they showed off for that game.
I thought that trailer was excellent. I thought it was controversial, but it was excellent. I thought to be honest, I think that drummed up more interest for me after seeing that in the game. Like I started E3, I thought it was trash. After seeing that trailer, like, yeah, the things that happened in that trailer, if you haven't seen it, like, the father, like, kills a girl, his daughter, essentially, or, like, beats her enough that she's unconscious. I don't know if he exactly kills her, but beats her enough that she's unconscious. And so that's kind of controversial, I agree, and people are upset about that. But, like, the way they showed that you can do, like, so many different things and everything that you do impacts the game. It's almost like a Telltale game that you actually do play,
Yeah.
Taylor or Clowns, what did you guys think of that one? Did you guys watch that one?
I didn't see that one, no.
Oh, go see it. It's good.
Yeah.
No, I had to rewatch The Last of Us 2 over and over because it made me really excited.
Nice. Well, if people watching the show and they're not, and you haven't seen that trailer, you need to go see it because I think that hit the nail on the head of what that game is about. And I know it's really controversial because, the father is enraged and he beats the shit out of his kid. And, obviously that's not cool. But, the gameplay, the things the decisions you were able to make, I think, like, that makes that game really intriguing and puts a lot of replay value into it,
Yeah.
Like, that's instantly what I thought when they showed, like, that at the end, that, like, matrix of decisions that you can make and how each one, like, deviates off of the main one and how you can make so many different decisions in one scene. Like, you could have, like, like 16 or 18 different outcomes. It's just crazy.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
It's probably a nightmare to make.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm sure it is. And that's why it's been delayed and that's why it hasn't come out yet. But, like, once you get that, like, I'm on Team Detroit now. Like, I was not going to get that after E3, and now I'm, like, pretty interested after seeing that. So,
yeah.
What else at Paris Games Week did you guys like? Did you see some of the games that were shown off? Like,
I think Sucker Punch's game, I think, you could quote me on this, looks terrible.
Really?
I have zero interest in playing a game like that. I hope they show something more intriguing because I mean, I don't have a PlayStation, so I can't play it anyways, but, I have zero interest in, with that game.
Ghosts of, what is it, Tsushima?
Yeah.
Right? From what I saw, like, the game looks great graphically, if that's in-game, quote-unquote. Yeah. That looks incredible graphically, but, like, I've got to see way more before I decide that, that's the next Sucker Punch masterpiece, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, right now, like, I have no reason to be really interested in that setting because, like, they didn't show off, like, any battles really. Like, they didn't show off anything, like, to make me think that it was really action-y or something that I'd be, like, really drawn to. But, I mean, I think it has potential. It has a ton of potential. It's just what they showed is just not, they dub it as, like, an open-world adventure. Nothing in that trailer, like, said to me open-world adventure whatsoever.
Yep.
If anything, it's the exact opposite. Anything else, Assassin, about this, about Games Week, or?
Everything else I thought was pretty much a snore.
Are you serious? Guacamelee 2?
The first one was alright.
No.
Oh, he tracks that game. He uninstalled that game. Don't let him.
I did play it, I think, a good amount more than I played probably typical indie games, but...
He put it up there with Chariot.
I don't think I did that. That's a little too harsh.
You called it the avocado simulator and Chariot the coffee.
I don't think I said that. But anyways, the co-op seems a little interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I'm in on it. Yeah, a lot of the other stuff didn't really interest me, like the Blood and the Truth PSVR experience that kind of builds on that heist one that they had with the demo disc or whatever it is. Not the demo disc, but like the one where they had all the games on the same disc, PS Worlds or whatever it was. I don't know if that's what it was called, but it was like a mini game called The Heist, and now they're making a full game out of that. So that one looks pretty good. I thought they showed a decent amount of good VR stuff, to be honest.
Yeah, but is it gonna be good though?
Is it gonna be good? Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, it looks good, but is it gonna be good? Is the thing. Taylor clowns on PlayStation's Paris Games Week conference.
Nope.
I don't even know why PlayStation had it. I think they just wanted to stay relevant. They couldn't let Xbox have any news at one time. I mean, PlayStation's always good about getting their business out there and talked about, and that's what Last of Us 2 did. It made the Paris Game Week memorable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it at least they showed like a ton of new games, and that's what people bag at Microsoft for. So,
kind of. The question is when it's coming out.
Yeah,
they said I think someone had 2018 on there, but that could be December of 2018.
Yeah, I mean they showed Spider-Man. God of War, and I mean they showed a lot of the games we've been seeing now for a couple of years at this point.
People are already triggered over Spider-Man because you could play as MJ.
Can you really?
Yeah, there's a part in there you could play as MJ or something. People are getting triggered over it.
I missed that.
Yeah, they said MJ doesn't deserve a spot in the game.
Nice. Wow, that's pretty bad. Chicken Spaghetti says he thinks the high points were Ghost of Tsushima, obviously. He really likes that. He says the Hong Kong Massacre. I don't know what this third one was.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
It doesn't sound familiar.
It doesn't sound familiar to me at all. In Detroit. Yeah, Detroit I thought looked really good. Sucker Punch has potential. Hong Kong Massacre, that is not memorable to me. I remember seeing it, but I don't really remember what it was. What was the game that was like a racing game that kind of looks like MotorStorm?
No,
that game looked pretty good. That game looked pretty damn good. But yeah, like Spider-Man and God of War and like all the old stuff was just the same old,
Yeah.
Nothing really new to like get me going again. So, all right. Other than that, is there anything else?
There was one thing with
Oh
Paris.
yes, please. Yep, please.
Activision pissed me off big time. I know I sent it to you guys, but I said it on Twitter a lot. With Destiny 2, they showed off DLC not even a week of the launch of the PC version. Not even 2 months of the console version. And I know we knew that it was going to be in December, but I mean, I think it was just too soon, especially how much they've shown, which just makes it feel like they cut content from the launch.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. And then, oh god.
Oh, I was gonna say, didn't people like data mine the beta and found out that that stuff was already in there? So
I don't know for sure on the Destiny 2 stuff.
Oh, okay.
But then, Call of Duty, they showed a fancy new trailer of a map that's only available for Season Pass holders and Deluxe Edition holders, which is absolute bullshit. And then on top of that, they showed DLC for a game that's not out. If you paid attention, people data mined the PC beta to have maps that weren't in the game. The game's launched with 9 maps, which is very small, I think, for a Call of Duty game.
Yep.
And then the locations of the maps that people had descriptions for were right in the DLC.
Wow. Leave it to Activision to do something like that. See, and like I could have sworn they would just like abandon the season pass thing. You know what I mean? Like I could have sworn that they were gonna learn, but
they're the only company right now that I think that does a season pass and loot boxes. Yeah. Now I know Assassin's Creed has a season pass and microtransactions, but I mean that's story based. So I guess sort of gets a slide, but
Right.
they're the only multiplayer game that does this now.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Season Pass with story-based content, like, way more okay with that than for maps at this point. But yeah, like, I could have sworn they were going to just abandon that. Like, I could have sworn they were, like, riding the wave of World War II showing so well. They were like, yes, like, we can capture the audience back. Now let's, like, not do a Season Pass for maps and get people just on the loot boxes, and let's, like, adapt and win back, like, prominence for Call of Duty. But nope, they're going to go ahead and do a Season Pass, so.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And
it's go ahead.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. It's some kind of a little off topic.
Oh, I was gonna say that. And the Season Pass stuff was like already data mined, and people found out that, like, it was already in the game essentially.
Yeah.
What
Supposedly, though, the supply drops were changed also compared to last games, which is really annoying.
Why? What happened?
Now, I haven't seen any gameplay or whatever, so it could have changed, but what people are saying, if you remember Advanced Warfare, when you play, the game, you randomly get a loot box.
Mm-hmm, yep.
Supposedly, it's like that. You don't get any in-game currency whatsoever.
No, stop it.
But what people are saying is that it's a lot better this time, because you can get scraps, kind of like the Modern Warfare Remaster version, but they also drop, like, you can get, like, 5 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess we'll see, but
right.
If that doesn't drop 4 to 5 an hour, and it's just randomly,
yeah, that's
even more greener.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. When is Activision going to learn, man? When are they going to learn?
Activision, they're not going to learn.
Yeah, I know. True. Very true. And, like, now it makes me wonder, are they ever going to get it? Like, are they ever going to not do a Season Pass? If they didn't do it this time, like, are they ever going to do it?
They sell, like, millions of copies or whatever. They make billions off of the microtransactions.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they care that, they're the only people that still have a Season Pass for multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
Because people will still buy them.
Yeah. It's just like crazy that you hear like so much outrage about the loot boxes and stuff and about microtransactions, but like then you've got companies like that have hard data that people just love them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and no one cares that Call of Duty has microtransactions. These loot boxes. But you hear like Battlefront 2, they're gonna have to burn down the company because they have them in the game.
Right. So true. It's like such a double standard at this point.
Yeah.
All right, so that's all I got for this episode. Went a little longer, but we had a little bit of technical difficulties. Huh?
Said a little technical difficulties halfway through.
I know. It sucks. I don't know what happened there. I'm going to have to look into Restream, but sorry about that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for sticking with us through that technical problem. Essentially just search like 4GwQPodcast. Find us everywhere. I got to make like a shorter plug for this that I can just read off because like we're just on everything and you just need to like search 4GwQPodcast and find us on everything, especially the website and Twitter. That's probably where we're most active. But yeah, Mixer, we're going to be streaming on that. Assassin's going to do some more streaming once he gets his X. He already committed to that, so.
Yeah.
So look out for that on our, especially on our Mixer channel and maybe Twitch. And if YouTube streaming ever comes to Xbox, we'll definitely be doing a lot of that. So, 4GwQPodcast is our handle on all of those. On Twitter, it's 4GwQPodcast, so go check us out on that. And other than that, find us individually at our cycling things below. And other than that, we're out ski. Peace.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace. Assassin, go play Wolfenstein.
No, I'm playing Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
Oh, okay. Okay, bye.